gonna pass the microphone over to our best man, Joe. Joe, take it away.
The tone is going to be very different of this one. I want to extend a big thank you to Gina, who is, of course, the maid of honor, who made my job much easier because you just wonderfully illustrated all the ways that Jamie is a kind, beautiful, loving person. But as we know, opposites attract. Something I always really admired about Jamie is that she's very skilled at finding the silver lining in all things. She can always find the good and bad, and the beauty in even the just ugliest things. That's my segue to start talking about Steve. Steve and I met when we were both in college working at a Dollar Tree discount store. I see we have a few employees in the house. Very shortly after that, though, our careers split because I decided to become an artist and Steve decided that he wanted his living to actually, pay some bills. Now, that said, I'm an artist. I don't really interact with people. I spend all my time alone. So public speaking is terrifying to me. And I think Steve knew that and thought it would be really funny to hand me a microphone in a crowded room. But the joke's on him because I have 13 years of grievances that I'm about to air. But I gotta say, now that I'm here and I'm doing it, it's not as scary. Really, the hardest thing was trying to figure out what to get Steve as a wedding gift. I wanted to get him something he didn't already have, would get a lot of use out of, and just desperately, desperately needed. But I'm still not sure how to give someone a personality. All right, like I said, we've got 13 years of material to get through. I apologize if any of it seems petty, but it's been building up for a while. So here we go. Number one, Steve is possibly the most politically incorrect person I've ever met. So naturally, he got a job in human resources. That's like Osama bin Laden working for the TSA. The hypocrisy is disgusting to me. Number two, Steve has pirated so much media, they're gonna change the name to the movie franchise to Steve of the Caribbean. I was under the impression that HR employees were supposed to have a code of ethics, but that's just me though. Number three, this one's actually very true. Steve is constantly putting himself, Jamie, and all other people on the road in mortal danger. Steve's a speed demon. One time we left a restaurant at 7:45 to go to Steve's house 3 miles away. We got there at 7:40. All right, here's a really petty one, so I apologize in advance. There is more hair on Steve's chest, hold on, than there is in Chewbacca's shower drain. Does anybody here not know who Chewbacca is? See me after class. On the subject of hair, and this is kind of the pot calling the kettle black, but it'll be worth it. I lost my place. Steve isn't going bald. His hair is just running away from his face. You would too if you had to spend all that time that close to his face. They're laughing at the ones like about your physical appearance. You know they're true. Okay. Steve would argue that the best thing to come out of his time working at Best Buy was meeting Jamie. And while Jamie's great, I would argue it was the employee discount that we all abused. Jamie, I love you, but one time I got $100 TV cables for $5. Cut me some slack here. One time, Steve decided to get his ear pierced. It lasted for about 2 weeks until he realized, oh, my friends are gonna find out about this. They were the longest 2 weeks of Steve's life and the best 2 weeks of mine. All right, I feel kind of bad. I'm picking on Steve a little bit. We'll rein it in and we'll start saying some things that are pretty good about Steve. Some nice things about Steve. I've always looked up to Steve, but I'm pretty short, so I look up to a lot of people. One time, Steve came with us to a Star Wars convention, and I can say he actually was the coolest person there. But it was a Star Wars convention, so the bar was just like, not that high. Steve always knows how to put things in perspective. I just take one look at him and I think, oh God, things could be so much worse. Not today, though. Steve is one of the most giving and selfless people I have ever met. I'm embarrassed. I don't know how that got in here. I'm really sorry. Let's see if it circles into another backhanded compliment, though. Hold on. Let me follow the train of thought here. Steve is the kind of person to drop what he's doing to help anyone that he cares about. Even during his limited free time, you'll find him helping me fix my computer issue, helping his dad fix the problem with the TV, or helping his mom figure out how to send an email. Cheryl, we believe in you. You're gonna get it. Keep trying. And Steve does it with a smile. He never lets you feel like he'd rather be doing anything else other than helping you with the problem that you could have easily Googled before you called him. To quote one of the greatest films of all time, Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace. It's not really, I'm just being sarcastic. Qui-Gon Jinn describes the young Anakin Skywalker as a special boy who gives without any thought of reward. Definitely, like, special. But the second part of that quote also rings true. In all seriousness, which is a demeanor that I obviously don't wear very often, Steve is always available and present. And most importantly, he's a good sport. He always takes time to listen, to support, and encourage. And I can think of no one more deserving of a partner like that than Jamie. Every actual compliment that I just gave about Steve, Jamie meets back 100% in full. I figured out pretty early on that the two of them were made for each other. It was right around the time you guys had the surgery where you were attached at the hip. And I have to say, I can't describe to you how fortunate I feel to stand here and put on this sarcastic front to mask the affection, love, and occasional respect that I have for the two of them. Steve, Jamie, you're both so blessed to have each other as a team, and all of us here are blessed to have you in our lives. So Jamie, I know you come from a Star Trek family. Steve comes from a Star Wars family. So please raise your glasses and help me say to the bride and groom, live long and prosper, or whatever, and may the Force be with you. Thank you, guys.